Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF, joined as always by my main man at FFSnoog. And it is redraft week, baby. We are here to help you guys take your redraft teams to another level. And you guys that are in Dynasty, give you a little bit of content to tie it all together because most websites, most sites are not doing that. Make sure you guys hit that link down below, subscribe. We're almost at 5,000 subs. It's been a wild ride. Snoog, this is that fun time of year, man. We start to look at these redraft wide receivers, and it makes me challenge where we have these guys in dynasty rankings.
Yeah, it's not a Smash Accept show if Kamara gear is not rocking. So I know we're not talking about him today, but yeah, I'm excited for these wide receivers. We got a deep landscape. This is the deepest I've ever seen it personally since I've been into the NFL and into football. So there is just a ridiculous amount of guys. We got like multiple first-round rookie wide receivers. We have like a top 10 superstar lineup with those top 10 smash starts. So I'm excited to jump into this one. We're going to have a little bit of fun with today and kind of break down the process of why we have these guys ranked where they do and kind of what the upside looks like, etc.
Yeah, and what we're really trying to do here, like I said, we're tying it together for you. We're going to help you guys come together. I see that there from Kevin Graham. He said, love your guys' content, tying it all together. That's what we do here. We've created a community where we do Dynasty, we do redraft, we put it all together. We give you actionable advice over here at patreon.com/Smash Accept. That's how you get into our Discord. So if you guys are interested in that, just $5 a month, check us out. Now's the best time to join. We got a lot of great things going on there. So without further ado, Snoog, the wide receiver rooms right now, like this class, everything's so deep in 2025. We can go all the way out to wide receiver 42, and we're still looking at guys like that could be wide receiver ones on their own team. Josh Downs, Jerry Jeudy, Ricky Purcell, Cooper Kupp, or not Cooper Kupp so much, but guys in that range where you're like, this is deep. What we want to do today is we want to get our tiers set up for the top 24. And the way we have that broken down is S, the top tier, is going to be our smash tier. That's where our guys, these are guys that are going to win you championships. These are guys that every single week are going to give you high wide receiver 2 floor, but every week a wide receiver 1 winning type week. Then we have our A tier. That's going to be our weekly wide receiver 1 upside. These are guys that every single week are going to be wide receiver 2s, but they're going to sprinkle in some wide receiver 1 weeks for you and help you win in fantasy. And then our B tier, which we will get into today to follow up our top 24. That'll be our wide receiver 2 locks. These are guys that it's a given. They will finish as a wide receiver 2 week in and week out and might be a little bit higher. Everyone knows the S tier, right? Some of the top guys. And I'm just going to throw them out there. Guys, make sure you guys follow at Brock Dynasty. He's going to be editing this over here on the side. But you look at that S tier. Everybody knows Jamar Chase is the wide receiver 1. There's no debate this year. I think he's almost in a tier by himself. When you look at Lamb now has Pickens, Jefferson has a hamstring issue right off the bat. Chase is the number 1, but in the same tier, Jefferson and Lamb, those have been the guys that year in and year out are in that top 3. There's a 4th guy, Snoog, that I think really belongs in this tier without even debate, who could be the wide receiver 1. That's Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors could absolutely smash and dark horse wide receiver, not even a dark horse anymore. The wide receiver 1 in Dynasty for me could be the wide receiver 1 in fantasy.
Yeah, he's this absolute superstar. He's someone we followed all throughout the process in college as a rookie. Like we knew the type of caliber of player he was going to be. We had him as our 103 or I did in rookie rankings coming out. So we were super, super bullish on the type of talent he is. The thing that I love most about him is he's guaranteed like 180 targets. He's literally like the New York Giants. He's like the New York Giants version of Garrett Wilson, but better. Like he's like a better player. He's in a better situation, but he's going to get that target volume. So the path is the limit. Obviously, as a wide receiver 1, you really want 3 things. He's got 2 of them: elite talent and target opportunity. Quarterback play, if it's Russell Wilson, I'd say that's a pretty solid veteran quarterback you want throwing to your guy. Like you don't want, Kenneth Pickett or one of those guys. But like if you actually have a good guy like Russell Wilson who's been in the game, been running that offense, I think he can help unlock Malik Neighbors. And that camp hype and buzz with that connection has been building. So,
yeah, I love him in the late first. You mentioned Garrett Wilson. What tier does he fall in for you? Again, S is our smash starts, A, our weekly wide receiver 1 upside, and B being our wide receiver locks.
Yeah, he's he's just outside the smash starts for me. He's a weekly wide receiver 1 upside guy.
Agreed.
The reason why is because he doesn't have the elite quarterback play. Even if Fields and him have a good connection, the consistency, he doesn't have a Burrow. He doesn't have like a Hurts, a Stroud, a Goff, any of those like high-end pocket passing guys that can consistently lock in on a wide receiver 1. There's a lot of uncertainty with the Jets, but he's got the talent. He's got the target opportunity. He's literally competing with nobody, a rookie tight end and Mason Taylor. Like, he is going to have a career year, in my opinion. I think he'll finish in the top 15 for sure. I think he'll be more in like that 8 to 13 range, a little bit more volatile than the smash start guys, though.
And he's a steal right now. I mean, I'm doing a lot of different strategies that you guys can get in the Patreon. Garrett Wilson's going in the 3rd round, and that's wide receiver 1 upside in the 3rd round. Lets you build robust wide receiver if you take a Puka Nacua in the 1st round, or you take Nico Collins in the 1st round. I moved Brian Thomas Jr. and Nico Collins both over Amon-Ra St. Brown in that tier. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think Brian Thomas Jr. and Nico Collins, we did a show on this in the past. If you guys want to check it out, they have wide receiver 1 overall upside. Both of them are going at that end of the 1st, early 2nd. BTJ with Liam Cohen and Nico Collins. We saw what he was on pace to do last year with CJ Stroud. These guys are guys that I love taking at the end of the 1st, early 2nd. My question to you is, you're sitting there at the end of the 1st, right? And you have BTJ, Nico, A-Chain, and Christian McCaffrey looking at you. All 4 of those guys. How do you build that? I mean, you have to agree that they're smash starts, but how would you build that particular setup with those 4 players?
Nico Collins is a top 5 redraft wide receiver for me, arguably higher. What he's going to do with this CJ Stroud offense, this new revamped offensive line, Nick Caley is the new offensive coordinator. There's like, who's the target competition? Christian Kirk, like Jaden Higgins? Like, no, they're not the target competition for Nico Collins. What he did last year, he was pacing over 100 yards per game. Like, that connection's even stronger. They have the Jags twice a year, the Titans twice a year, the Colts twice a year. Like, they're going to have 6 games where Nico Collins combines for like 150 fantasy points, 180 fantasy points. Like, that's what's going to happen. And if he stays healthy, he's a top 3 wide receiver, in my opinion. Justin Jefferson has J.J. McCarthy, who's a rookie quarterback who hasn't done anything yet. He has the hamstring injury. CeeDee Lamb has target opportunity, but an injured Dak coming off a hamstring tear. I think Nico Collins can be in the same category as like right below Chase with like Neighbors, Jefferson, and Lamb, because I think his situation's just so much safer and he's healthy. And that's like a big issue. And people don't want to look at it like that, but he's a lot cheaper as well.
I'm with you. And then who would be that next guy? So if you take Nico at 112, you taking CMC, A-Chain, or Brian Thomas Jr. at the 201?
I'm a sucker for BTJ. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just loved him coming out of college. I'm a big BTJ fan. I hate that he's on the Jaguars, but I just really think that he has so much upside. And I don't love that it's him and Travis Hunter, but I think Cohen and Trevor Lawrence are good enough to get it going for both of them. And I think BTJ is still going to do his thing on the outside. He's going to run, for 1,300 yards and 12 plus TDs. What's
awesome is, out of the guys that finished in the top 10, he's the only one who had under a 25% target share. So a lot of people think that Travis Hunter is going to take away from that. I think Liam Cohen's going to throw the ball more. I think it's going to get more opportunity, more touchdowns. And Snoog, last year, the most yards of separation for a wide receiver on the slant in the entire NFL was Brian Thomas Jr., and he ran it at 3%. Liam Cohen runs his at 10. Like, if you put him in that spot and you kind of bump it up, his ceiling is through the roof. So we have our top 6 wide receivers there. You see it's Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and Nico. You can kind of go there however you would like. I want to talk about the rest of the guys that potentially fill out that smash tier. And I want to know, first off, are you keeping all these guys in the smash tier? Second off, let's rank them. So it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Drake London, and A.J. Brown. I feel like all 4 of them belong in this smash tier because you put them in every week. They could finish wide receiver 1 overall every week. They will finish as a high-end wide receiver 2 every week. I guess more my question to you is, we got to rank these guys. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, his target share has dropped every single year to last year. It was a little bit lower. Still finished top 5, but the target share did dip. Ben Johnson leaves. Puka Nacua, a little bit of a question mark. I loved him with Matthew Stafford, but now we got that bad back. I'm an old man. I know what that bad back must feel like for Matthew Stafford. Drake London, it's small sample size with Michael Penix Jr., but geez, it was through the roof for those 3 games with that target share and that volume. And A.J. Brown secretly last year had one of his most efficient years ever, being top 7 in yards per route run all time, had his best, yards per reception. He's a dog. So rank those 4 guys for me. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Drake London, A.J. Brown. That's how I have it. Can you switch it up a little bit for me?
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, A.J. Brown, Drake London for me. And I'll break it down just like how you did. Again, Amon-Ra St. Brown. The reason why I would have a mini tier gap right here after Collins and BTJ.
I agree.
Because Collins and BTJ have 0 question marks, like Puka's knee and Stafford. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ben Johnson leaves. Jameson Williams looks amazing. Gibbs is going to get more receiving work. Sam Laporta is still there. Can a non-Ben Johnson offense support all that? I don't know, but Amon-Ra's still the guy there. He's still a stud. Drake London. I'm not sold on Penix. I really don't think he's that great of a player, but he's going to key in on Drake London. But how good can that Falcons offense be? I think it's going to run through Bijan Robinson. London's going to probably be a 260, 280 point guy, in my opinion, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, lock it in. But A.J. Brown has more upside than Drake London. Better player. I think he's on a better offense.
Player 100%. But the tricky part is the Atlanta volume versus the Philadelphia offense. A.J. Brown is the top 3 wide receiver overall because of the way his efficiency is through the roof. But I love that. I mean, because I think A.J. Brown is undervalued. Right now, you can get Drake London in the mid-second. I've seen A.J. Brown go as late as 211. That's stealing. In Dynasty, he's going late 3rd. He literally belongs in a full PPR league up there with these big dogs. And I wanted to really kind of hammer that home. Now we have to fill in. So that's our top 10. I love that. I mean, I'll agree with you right there. London and Brown are interchangeable, but Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Neighbors, Thomas, Nico, you can flip-flop 5 and 6 there. Amon-Ra, Puka, London, A.J. Brown. This is why wide receiver is so elite at the top, and a lot of people like to build hero wide receiver, right? Because you take a wide receiver like a Brian Thomas Jr. or Nico Collins, and then you go running back with Josh Jacobs and Chase Brown. You get your tight end or your quarterback in round 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you get your Tedderoy McMillans, your Stephon Diggs, all these different wide receivers that we talked about in the past. Now I want to know, this is where we make our money, right? Those guys there, that's easy. That top 10. I'm going to start naming some guys here, and I want to know if you put them in A tier, which is a weekly wide receiver 1, or B tier, which is a lock to finish as at least a wide receiver 2, if that makes sense.
I'm ready for this one. Okay. I like this one.
This is where we're going to differ a little bit. We already have Garrett Wilson in that wide receiver 1 A tier. Yep. Where do you put Jackson Smith and Jigba?
I keep him in this tier as well. I don't think I like Garrett Wilson. Doesn't have the quarterback play. I think Darnold, you could even argue, is probably a better quarterback to have throwing to your wide receiver than Justin Fields, just because he's just a strictly pocket passer vet. But I really just think JSN's going to have a target year. Just with Clint Kubiak, there's going to be a lot of high efficient opportunities for him. He's a stud. He's a great player, separates well, catches everything thrown his way, wins across the middle of the field, does everything you want in an elite wide receiver, just doesn't have the situation to quite get there. Everyone keeps saying Cooper Kupp, Dad. How many games is he going to play? 10, 12. Maybe he plays a full season, but he's not Cooper the whole Kupp, Cooper Kupp. He looks good.
Wide receiver. He's going wide receiver 40, so he's a value again. My next question with that is Jackson Smith and Jigba or Garrett Wilson? Who do you have high?
Garrett Wilson.
Okay, next guy. And you let Lad McConkey.
Wide receiver 1 as well. Upside. Weekly wide receiver 1 upside tier. He's above all those guys for me.
Okay, good. Because I have him as wide receiver 11.
Herbert, elite target opportunity. You know what's going to happen there, Dad.
Let's go Marvin Harrison Jr.
He's up in that. I got him in that weekly wide receiver 1 upside tier.
I do not. Well, I have him down at that wide receiver 2 lock because he only had 1 wide receiver 1 week all of last year. So sell me on why you believe he belongs in this tier.
I think he's the best player we've talked about yet. And I think it's going to take maybe this year for people to realize that. But I really think he's getting that CeeDee Lamb kind of T. Higgins treatment early on. He had if you look at his company he's in for that rookie season, 800 plus yards, 9+ TDs. Like, it's all studs. Like, he is a stud. He looks phenomenal at camp. He's mossing everybody. He just looks like a different specimen out there. He's separating. He's breaking people at the line of scrimmage. So
I got you. I have him as wide receiver 20 in that B tier. I have him below Evans, McLaurin, and Tedoroy McMillan. So you think he's in that spot? I think we'll iron it out. We'll iron it out. Let's stick in that A tier. We'll debate it a little bit more. We love hearing comments from you guys. Like, do you feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. is in that A tier or that B tier? We'd love to hear from you. Those we're always answering the questions. We do live streams every Tuesday where we do all of our trades, where we're about being part of the community. We're not just doing a show. We want to make sure we get your input as well. So next one here, I like T. Higgins. Is T. Higgins in that A tier or B tier for you?
Wide receiver 2 in points per game last year. Elite high-powered offense tied to Joe Burrow. Stud talent, like everything you want there. He's like one of the best number 2s in the league. He's in this tier with Ladd, Marv, Garrett, JSN for me.
Are we moving him above or below Ladd McConkey?
He's below.
Yep, I agree with that one. All right, cool. I like when we line up. How about 2 veterans here that just for the longest time in Dynasty, you and I have said, I want this guy, I want that guy. Get them on all of our teams. Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams. Are they still A tier for you?
They are. They're both still some of the best wide receivers in the league. I am nervous with the Stafford thing. I didn't even know what happened. And then you said it to me, and I was like, crap. I am like caught holding the bag with Davante Adams in Dynasty. But in redraft, if that value dips and Stafford's fine, he's going to ball out. Like, he's going to be a top 12 wide receiver because he's going to score 1 million touchdowns and just win out of the slot at a high rate. It's literally going to be Puka winning downfield on the outside and taking care of business there, doing all the dirty work. And Adams is just going to be putting on a route running clinic with the Sean McVay offense and Matt Stafford scoring 10+ TDs. You got to have him up there. Even if you don't want to, he's not washed. He literally did it playing backyard football last year with the Jets.
So let's break this tier down now. Tyreek and Adams, would you put them above T. Higgins or Ladd McConkey at this point?
Adams, no. Tyreek, I would put above T. Higgins. I
have him
want to put him above Ladd, but I just
There's still the question marks with both their quarterbacks. So I have it Ladd, T, Hill, and Adams. Would you move Garrett Wilson or Jackson Smith-Njigba above Davante Adams or Tyreek Hill at this point? I think there's a real argument for Garrett above Davante now.
Yeah, I put Garrett above Davante. Garrett above Davante. I think Tyreek's going to have a legacy comeback here. JSN, I'm keep at the bottom of this tier, though.
At wide receiver 13, Tyreek Hill is the only guy in this tier that could finish wide receiver 1. Ladd, I don't think will get Ladd could get volume, but I don't see the touchdowns. T. Higgins would need a Jamar Chase injury to finish wide receiver 1 overall. Davante Adams has done it, but again, he's going to be in that Cooper Kupp role for the Rams. Garrett Wilson could see the volume, but again, are the Jets going to score enough touchdowns? Jackson Smith-Njigba, same kind of question, right? We want elite level quarterbacks. This group does not have it other than Higgins and Ladd, and those guys probably don't get the same amount of volume to get it done. Now what we got to talk about is these B tier guys. Are they A tier or are they in that B tier? You've already said you have Marv in this tier. I'm going to mention the next guy. Is he A tier, meaning weekly wide receiver 1s, or is he B tier, wide receiver 2 lock? Cortland Sutton. Finished wide receiver 14 last year.
Bottom of B tier for me, if he's even in B tier for me. I'm not a big Sutton guy. I know you are and a lot of other people are. I just don't really see. I think like he's like 30 now. I just don't like. I feel like at some point a lot of these vets fall off, and I think Sutton would be one of those vets to fall off. But Bo Nix, Sean Payton, like he's gonna be good if he plays and he's healthy. I just think there's a lot of names in this landscape I would take over Cortland Sutton, and it's probably honestly just a name cachet thing for me. But
what about my favorite wide receiver, Calvin Ridley? Does he belong in this B tier for you?
He does.
He sure as hell does. I love Calvin Ridley this year. Would you rather have Ridley or Sutton right now?
Ridley. Yep.
Yeah, and Sutton's going round 5 and Ridley's going round 7. So I love that value. I'm higher on than pretty much anybody in the industry. How about Terry McLaurin with this? I had him in the wide receiver 1 section until we had if you tell me he's playing a full 17 with Jaden Daniels, I put him up there with Garrett, JSN, Davante Adams. Now we have a little bit of risk. What's going to happen? Could he hold out? I can't see taking him above, wide receiver 18 or 19 right now.
Let me give you 2 scenarios. He stays with the Commanders. Where do you put him?
16 above Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He goes to the Patriots and plays with Drake May. Where do you put him?
23 because Diggs is getting all of that repetition already.
New offense, yeah.
If it wasn't a new offense, right? If you talk about Diggs didn't go there and they traded McLaurin, yeah, top 12. Yeah, like that. That's where I'm at. But
yeah,
I'm a little bit worried there. Mike Evans, does he belong in that wide receiver 1 upside, or with now adding Emeka Egbuka, having Chris Godwin, having Jalen McMillan, is Mike Evans finally out of that top lock for a wide receiver 1?
He is out of it for me. I think he's bottom of this B tier we're talking about now. Maybe
I have him top right now.
Maybe early C. He's probably still in that. He's definitely in that B for me. He's just a dog, and I love Mike Evans. He's a staple of the game. But I really think it's going to be Emeka Egbuka this year for that Buccaneers offense.
Now there's 2 wide receivers. I know you're going to have the one in here. I don't, but I have Teteroy McMillan and Travis Hunter. Do they belong in B tier? I can't see anybody that can argue against Tet. Can you argue how high do you have Travis Hunter in your redraft rankings? I'm lower. I have him at 31, but I think most people are going to have him in those late 20s.
I'm perfectly on par with the 7 guys who have in this tier. I would literally just take out Sutton and Terry and put in Travis Hunter and Devontae Smith, and we'd be spot on with this whole top 24. So I would have
him in there. I like it.
Ted above.
I like it. Well,
I'd have definitely Ted above Hunter. I'm on par with you on that. I'd have Hunter probably like with the guy we're going to talk about with the suspension and like in between.
Well, let's do
Evans,
that.
Ridley, and those guys.
Rashee Rice is wide receiver 21 for me right now, and he belongs there. Hey, speaking of belonging there, Matty Brappa's given a for the love of the game. Love the super chat in there. Thank you, brother. Not even one of those shows, but we love it. Rashee Rice is my wide receiver 21, assuming a suspension is coming. If he doesn't, how high does he go? I mean, I would take him over Ladd or in that Ladd T Tyreek range. Like he's a top 12 wide receiver. So I think in redraft, you're going to have some leagues where he falls. I'm taking him. I'm going to take Rashee Rice. For right now, he's in B. If the suspension is 2 to 4 games, he's in A. If it's higher, if it's 6 to 8, then he falls to B for me. And he's that major swing where you can take a Rashee Rice and then in round 9 take Stephon Diggs or someone like that to fill in the gap. So I think we're on the same page there. I think we have a slightly different, B tier as far as how they rank. Out of those guys, and we're going to call it Mike Evans, Teteroy McMillan, Terry McLaurin, Marv, Rice, Ridley, Sutton, Devonta, and Hunter. I'm going to throw in J-Mo too because I think J-Mo, honestly, I think J-Mo's going to smash this year. Who's the one guy that you're going to take in every single draft?
Marvin Harrison Jr. I truly think I want to just like cement my name attached to his because I believe in him so much as a talent. I just want Kyler Murray to get his head out of his butt and actually make throws downfield and figure it out and target his number 1 guy. Like he did it with D-Hop, and that's literally a same player as Marv. Like doesn't separate. Like he doesn't win by just running routes. Like he wins with skill set, winning downfield, like alpha mentality. Like that's Marvin Harrison Jr. Figure it out, Kyler. This guy should be going for 1,300 yards and 13 plus touchdowns this year if you just figure it out. So,
and my stamp seal of approval, you guys know it if you follow me on Twitter. That's all I ever talk about. It's Teteroy McMillan. It's Tet season, baby. T-Mac. I'm so old. I think when I hear T-Mac, I think Tracy McGrady. But honestly, I think Teteroy McMillan's going to get the volume that you could see him have a top 12 season. He's going to pay off. The other thing that's going to pay off is if you guys join patreon.com/SmashAccept, get in the Discord with myself, Snoog. We not only have our top 250 dynasty, we have our top 250 redraft. Every week, Snoog and I put out our weekly rankings. Every week, we're in there answering start-sit questions for you guys. So if you want to be part of a community that is more than just fantasy football, it's guys talking shop. It's Snoog and I literally putting ourselves in your shoes and building your dynasty and redraft teams with you. Give us a shot, patreon.com/SmashAccept. Thanks again for tuning in and enjoy the process.